Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am behind. This is my second day in a row I'm behind on getting my second video out. I have had a lot going on here recently. So let's get started. I couldn't remember if I told you my story the other day. The other day I bought probably the biggest buy that I've done of XRP in a while. It was on one of the dips. I don't even remember which one now. But I just wanted to describe to you how I did it with Caleb and Brown. Here's how I did it. All I do is I pull up my email, I send my broker an email. I think this was like in the evening. I don't really remember exactly when it was, but I think it was. And I just send them an email. I say, look, I've got all the cash you see in my account. Buy XRP with it. And within 5 or 10 minutes, I get a confirmation email, and I also get a confirmation, a PDF attached with all of the trade information on the PDF. It's the coolest thing ever. And knowing that that XRP I just bought goes right into Fireblock's institutional custody, which is free, is even better. And knowing that when I decide to sell it, that it's going to be they've got multiple over-the-counter liquidity providers, and I will be able to sell it, is huge. If you want to open a Caleb and Brown account, who is my partner, go to xrpwealth589.com. That page will forward you right here to my sign up today page on Caleb and Brown's website, and you can open an account. We're at a $3.01. We've had 2 drops in XRP over the last 5 days. Both of them went down into the 290. One of them went as low as I think 294. One went as low as 295 or 6 maybe, and then they jumped right back up over $3. Like we're finding maybe the chart guys, they call that a double bottom or something. Look, from Uphold, will RLUSD will they crack the top 100 by market cap this week? Ripple RLUSD is right now at number 103 on coin market cap. And I said here, I think we know how this ends. The stable coin flippening is coming. Yeah. I'll tell you how this ends. This ends with RLUSD being a top 3 stable coin in the world. Write it down that I said it. I don't care. All right, I wanted to show you where, I covered in the last video Caitlin Long bashing Ripple. I wanted to show you the roots of it. The roots of it are when the deadly sin of Ripple was when they applied for that Fed master account. Because Caitlin Long she had filed for her own master account 5 years ago or so. And so I think that, the worst fear of these Bitcoin maxis, and they're all the same people, they love Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tether. That's their thing. All those people, they know that when Ripple comes in, they're not going to be able to compete. That's the fact, Jack. And so they're terrified, as they should be. So, if you don't believe me, this is her tweet. This tweet is from July 2nd. I think that was the day, because that's Eleanor Terrett covering that Ripple had applied. And so here she's explaining that only 2 companies are banks, custodian and Kraken. Others are trusts or money transmitters. So you could tell she was irritated. Then she went on this interview, I don't even know who this guy is, and said this. You can just see the look on her face. She wants to come out swinging so bad. She doesn't in this clip, but she sure does want to.
It's interesting to watch all the crypto companies trying to do the same thing we started doing 5 years ago, which is getting a bank charter and applying for Fed master accounts. Several of them have done that now. They're not doing full-fledged bank charters. They're doing trust company charters in most cases. There is a difference. Banks can take deposits of U.S. dollars. Trust companies cannot. And it's good. It's going to be interesting to see how the banking agencies deal with that whole question of, can you run a crypto company, including a stablecoin issuer, using a trust company charter? It's not been done yet. at the federal level in particular. Some states have done it, but they're not actually taking deposits. There's always a bank partner behind them. What they're trying to do now is create a trust company that gets a Fed master account for a tiny fraction of the capital that a bank has to hold. I'm not sure that's going to be that easy. It's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be litigation over this. I think it's
almost like she wants the lawsuits against, I guess, Ripple, I'm assuming.
Not going to be a quick path. And I like where we are having a depository institution charter. We're still waiting for that Fed master account. It'll be 5 years in October that both Kraken and Custodia applied for our Fed master accounts.
The competition is coming, Caitlin. Now, one thing that she said in her in the thing she did from yesterday was that Ripple had done the first IPO. Not only is that a lie, but she knows it's a lie. There's no way she wouldn't know it's a lie. Ripple did not do an IPO. Ethereum did the first IPO, but guess what? You don't have to take my word for it. This is Dr. Luca Mueller. He was the creator of the Ethereum Foundation, which they created in Switzerland, by the way, and ran the Ethereum ICO. He calls Ethereum the first ICO in this clip.
I want to show you,
if anyone would know, he would.
Want to give you a little bit an insight of what problems, or let's say challenges, we had in 2014 when we launched Ethereum. In 2014, I had the Ethereum team in Zug, and they were explaining me about the new methods of collecting funds for a decentralized ecosystem, which finally launches a token which has no counterparty rights embedded. Now, how do you tackle such a situation? I mean, that was the first time I heard about distributed ledger technology, decentralized ecosystems, and to find an adequate legal structure to fulfill all the requirements they had as a tech team, that was very difficult. And I would never had imagined at that time in 2014 that actually we did the first initial coin offer ever in the world, that it would be such a development.
Yes, you did. Here's the thing. This is one of the many things that has the Caitlin Longs of the world terrified. From the CME Group report, XRP 400 to 500 times faster than Bitcoin, 30 to 40 times faster than Ethereum. XRP is financial infrastructure. CME Group understands it, but the Caitlin Long pretends not to. Ashley Prosper made a good comment here. Remember the rule. Every single time there's major XRP FUD, good news follows shortly after. Final end of the Ripple versus SEC case incoming, bank license incoming, Fed master account incoming, double-digit ETFs incoming, UK crypto license incoming, XLS ADD incoming, Clarity Act incoming, final ISO 222 deadline incoming. Ripple and XRP are poised for a giant leap by December 2025. I don't think anybody doubts that. I had to correct Tom Lee. Tom Lee is on the Ethereum Roadshow right now. They're putting him on the media everywhere. The PR machine has been activated. They are dead 1,000% wrong here, because Ripple will be the largest company in the stock market when it decides to IPO at some point. It won't even have to be in the stock market to be the largest company in the world, in my opinion.
Michael Saylor is changing the reality of the stock market. And the reason is that he probably will end up being the largest, potentially the largest company in the stock market, okay? Especially if Bitcoin goes to 1 million. Yet he doesn't generate GAAP net income to justify it. He's based solely on the value of his balance sheet. And
the debt.
And but that's not new to history, because when I graduated college, the biggest stock in the S&P, a top 5 name was ExxonMobil. And it was top 5 for 28 years, 30 years, like an entire generation. Graduated, worked on Wall Street, a top 5 name was a company that was only valued on the value of its oil, not on its net income. So like MicroStrategy is like replacing Exxon in lore, because for a whole generation, people said Exxon was the biggest company, but you don't value it on earnings. Well, MicroStrategy could be one of the biggest companies in the world, and it's valued on its Bitcoin.
Okay. And then we have, look at this from Smoke, the price suppression of XRP is coming to an end directly from SBI Holdings. The legal dispute between the SEC and Ripple, which has been a barrier to the IPO and suppressing the price of XRP for an extended period, is moving toward resolution, documented right there. They've got the dates outlined and everything. Folks, everybody knows what's coming. It's not even a question. Trillions, Bitwise. When Larry Fink says all stocks, bonds, real estate can be tokenized, believe him. And then Securitize, who's doing some of the tokenizations, put this out. One of the most dominant verticals in all blockchain, Securitize ranks number 1 in the tokenization of real-world assets. Check out weekly newsletter covering tokenization. And what do you have there? Right there, Ripple. Then you got this. Here's the this is the CEO of Securitize.
I'm familiar with tokenization.
This guy right here.
I think I read somewhere a big consulting company said it's a $16 trillion market by 2030. They were actually talking about a liquid asset.
Now, when they say 16 trillion, remember, when something's tokenized, that is liquidity in the crypto market. It is crypto once it's tokenized.
Correct. They include real estate and things like that, which I'm a bit skeptical, as I said.
Right. But either way, it's going to be a big
It's
big
going to
business.
be way bigger than it is now.
Yeah.
100%.
So let's go down some of the products that you guys have at Securitize. Maybe you can just tell us the companies, the names, and the AUMs. I know you've got the big one is BlackRock Biddle, which everyone knows.
Yeah.
I think 1 billion AUM now.
It's close to 3 billion now.
3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's news.
They continue growing.
Yeah, and then you've got.
Then we have the largest private credit fund with Apollo, which is around 100 million. Another very good name. Then we have the largest institutional fund, which is XRP, which is probably around like 250 million. Then we have the largest tokenized equity from a public company. It's a company called Exodus, which is a crypto wallet that is publicly traded in New York Stock Exchange. Their market cap is like 1.5 billion, and we have 450 million or so on chain as tokenized equity. So those are like the main 4 categories where Securitize has the largest asset in every category. So we're by far the dominant company in the space.
And you just had Van Eck launch.
We just announced Van Eck, which is very exciting because, Van Eck is a very well-known company in the crypto space. They've been very, very crypto-friendly. Jan Van Eck has been one of the first advocates for the Bitcoin ETF back in the days, 10 years ago. So we're very excited to just partner with them. So the fund is still small because it just launched, but I have a lot of expectation about the growth of their product. So
that's interesting. And I noticed you've got the venture capital funds and things. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of money coming, folks. All right, we're going to go into DAIXRP.com. That's the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click the join button right below any of these YouTube videos, or you can hit the subscribe button on X. You can join through there. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.